Hey, Mike Callahan. Wanted to make a quick video today. I've been down in the lab here, home office, pretty much all day outside of a few consulting calls or sales calls, and wanted to talk about going out and creating a new workflow for training new software and updates. So many of the users of Service Autopilot are going to be encountering and already are counting V3, their new user interface and updates. And while doing that, in the Simple Growth team here, in order to support and retrain our team and support our clients, we've had to go through and reevaluate how we actually train our team and continue the day-to-day grind of the business. So I think that's very similar to any of the lawn care, home cleaning folks that are going to be basically in the same situation as my team right here is. We've got to figure out how do we go out and train the new workflow and optimization of the software while continuing to go out and clean those homes, mow those lawns, especially in the lawn care industry right now in the spring rush, or in the cleaning industry if you've kind of pivoted and gone into disinfectant with COVID-19. So the idea here is what I've done is the first step is actually documented here on a whiteboard behind me, my quarterly sprint and the team's quarterly sprint. So these are my big objectives for myself, but on a board called Monday in a software program that we use a quarterly sprint or objective, and we've come up with these objectives on the team. And basically, we've set these quarterly objectives down to monthly and weekly goals for accountability. But we've had to go in now into my recollection or counting of the different updates in Service Autopilot up to release number 2 in the new updates they're doing, which are phenomenal from the ones we've seen already. Going to make people's lives a lot easier. There are about 138 to 140 either videos or text training template that actually our team is breaking down and training. And I got this thinking as we started talking as a team is, how are we going to go together as a team in one of the busiest parts of our season and be able to digest 138 to 148 new training modules and parts of workflow and be able to actually go out and train our team and then train our customers at Simple Growth? So what we did is we divided and conquered. So there are some core areas in the V3 updates that are going out already and are going to be released in release number 2 and release number 3. From what we've seen as a certified advisor is that there are some key areas, and I'm actually just going to walk over and look at my screen so I don't butcher them, but they are going to be our internal form training. So the V3 forms is one area that we're focusing on. The next one is accounting. The next one is jobs, how they're dispatched and all the different functions with jobs. There is also basically the account screen, the CRM client or lead screen is getting completely revamped, really sleek, really clean, but going through V3 forms, accounting, jobs, and the account screen, those 4 main areas, those were our focus on as we're breaking it down here on our sprint board. So how do we go out and continue to provide value to our customers, continue to put money in the bank and build these services, but train and learn how to use new software? So our answer at Simple Growth, which you feel free to borrow, is we've conquered and divided. So we broke those 4 main areas up, and each person or each group on our team has become the expert in whether it's jobs, forms, the account screen, or accounting, and then we're going to go in and actually cross-train. But what we found is we were starting to document this with internal videos, how to actually look at it. So we really needed to get a high-level overview, that 40,000 square foot view of how all these new updates affect the entire workflow. And once you really get into the weeds, it's hard to kind of see how they all build upon each other. And that's been our success of training Service Autopilot and using ourselves is we started out at a 40,000 square foot view and then started from the beginning, from lead acquisition through estimating, through scheduling, billing, and fulfillment, and created basically a structured way to build upon that for a sound understanding. When most people come to a 2-day deep dive in New York, that's something we build upon, and that is usually an aha moment. So if you're going to go out and tackle the new way to use Service Autopilot, I'm recommending, especially in the spring rush, breaking it into those 4 core areas. So they're going to be forms, accounting, jobs, and account screens. But when you're doing it, have the team make a video or at least present it But before they get into the nitty gritty, have them give an overview of how it lays into the whole system. So I'll give you a real brief example. As we're about to hire, well, actually we just did hire our 11th team member, and they're actually starting tomorrow. So we're using automated video training for some of our remote training. But one of the things we talked about in the training, which is fresh because I just recut the video last night, was RingCentral. It's our voice over IP phone system. So in order the new hire to understand what RingCentral was, we broke down on a very high level that we utilize RingCentral as a voice over IP, voice over internet provider system, and that is our external communication for phone calls and text messages, inbound and outbound. Now, our internal communication, or at least one of them, is Slack, and that's an internal communication, but it's more of an internal messaging system that's done. So external communication happens through RingCentral, and internal communication happens through Slack. But by laying a really high-level basic understanding, that new hire then understands what is appropriate and how it actually interacts with the training and workflow in our business. So what I'm going to recommend is if you are going out and tackling the new V3 releases, so release number 1's already out, release number 2 I have a feeling is on its way, and then release number 3. Right now, from my counting, there's about 138 to 140 basically knowledge bases that we have to tackle to be able to use it fully. So we're breaking it up into 4 sections, and then we're going to cross-train our teams. Each group on our team is going to be dialing into a certain part of it, and then we're going to cross-train and document it. But before we submit it to our other team members, we're going to give them that high overview, that 40,000 square foot view of how it affects the foundational building and workflow of Service Autopilot in our business and everybody else's business. And then what we've done for accountability here is in my office, we've documented our quarterly sprints down to the month and week for accountability. And I've got this in my office because I like to see it on the wall. But in our project management board Monday, we've actually documented these things as well. So on our team meetings, we can go in and say, okay, where are we at with these things and where are we going? So really excited. Got a lot of cool things coming up down the pipeline with Simple Growth, but I wanted just to take a page out of our notebook of how we're actually tackling V3 integration and training, and how if you're interested, you can take a page out of our book and the lessons we've learned in the last 3 to 4 years training Service Autopilot, and use that with your team, especially in the spring rush here, whether it's lawn care, home cleaning. Times are a little crazy right now, and training remotely with a remote office with COVID can also be challenging. But this is something we've been doing here for a while, and I believe we've got it pretty well figured out, so I wanted to share that knowledge with you. So comments or questions drop below. Hope everybody's doing well, and watch out this Friday at 1 p.m. Central, or actually 12 Central, 1 p.m. Eastern. So that's 12 Central, 1 p.m. Eastern. I've got Nikki and John DeCosmaker coming on of Call Boss and Little John's Lawn Care, located out in Arizona. So we're going to be talking some knowledge and experience they've had in both those businesses as well. So I want to say what's up to Chris Baker, Brian, and Anthony. So hope all's well, guys, and we will see you tomorrow on Callahan's Corner.